بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Our lesson today is the language of newspapers. In this lesson, we are going to read a newspaper article and choose the best headline, listen to a spoken account of the same event, write words, study some features of formal and informal language. Look at this picture. What's happening in the picture? Have you ever seen anything like this? Read the article and choose the best headline. The fire started on the ground floor of number 218 Queen Street at 10:10 a.m. and reached the fourth floor within minutes. The police and fire brigade arrived at 10:19 and they immediately began to evacuate everyone from number 218 and the buildings on either side. Evacuate means إخلاء. 3 minutes later, there was a loud explosion. The police instructed the crowd in the street to move away from the building. They placed police vehicles at the end of the Queen Street, and they prevented members of the public from entering the street. The fire was brought under control around 11 o'clock, but the interior of the building had been completely destroyed by then. Ambulances took 5 people to hospital, but their condition was not serious. Let's move to the headlines. The first one, police close Queen Street. The second, fire destroys office building. The third, office fire, fire brigade too slow. And the fourth one, explosion destroys office building. So let's move to the first one. The first one is so narrow. It didn't explain the event. The third and the fourth one is inaccurate. Inaccurate means غير دقيق. So the second one is the most suitable headline. Formal and informal language. Written English, for example, in a newspaper, is usually formal. Spoken English is usually informal. There are differences in vocabulary and in grammar. هناك اختلافات في المفردات وفي القواعد بين اللغة الرسمية واللغة الغير رسمية، ونحن عادة ما نستخدم اللغة الرسمية عند الكتابة، واللغة الغير رسمية نستخدمها عند الحديث. Look at these examples. Children in many parts of the world are starving. Starving means يتضورون جوعا. Kids in many parts of the world are starving. Both children and kids mean أطفال. But children is formal and kids is informal one. It does not rain much in Iraq. It doesn't rain much in Iraq. In the formal language, we can't use contractions, but we can use it in the informal language. Contractions means اختصارات. Read the article on a student's book, page 71 again. Then listen and complete this text about the same event.
Section 78. A. Listen and complete this text about the same event as the one in your student's book.
The fire started on the ground floor of number 218 Queen Street at 10:10 a.m. and it got up to the fourth floor in minutes. As soon as the police and fire brigade got here, they got everyone out of number 218 and the buildings on either side very quickly. A few minutes later, there was a loud bang. The police told the crowd in the street to get away from the building. They put police cars at the end of Queen Street and they stopped people from going into the street. By 11 o'clock, the fire seemed to be out, but the inside of the building had been completely destroyed. Ambulances took 5 people to hospital, but they were okay.
Section 78. A. Listen and complete this text about the same event as the one in your student's book.
The fire started on the ground floor of number 218 Queen Street at 10:10 a.m. and it got up to the 4th floor in minutes. As soon as the police and fire brigade got here, they got everyone out of number 218 and the buildings on either side very quickly. A few minutes later, there was a loud bang. The police told the crowd in the street to get away from the building. They put police cars at the end of Queen Street and they stopped people from going into the street. By 11 o'clock, the fire seemed to be out, but the inside of the building had been completely destroyed. Ambulances took 5 people to hospital, but they were okay.
Match the formal written words and the informal spoken words. Arrive, get here, enter, F, go into, evacuate, E, get out of, explosion, A, bang, instruct, L, tell, member of public, I, people, move, C, get away, not serious, H, okay, place, J, put, prevent, K, stop, the interior, G, inside, vehicles, it means the car. In exercise D, the language in these sentences is informal. Rewrite the sentences so that they are formal. Change the contractions and replace the underlined words. Use the words in the box, changing the form of the verbs when necessary. So, the words in these books are formal, and the underlined words in these sentences are informal. What is required is to replace the underlined word with the word from the box. 1. The lions can't get out of their cage. The lions cannot escape from their cage. It is quite hard to work with all this noise. It is quite difficult to work with all this noise. Bye and thanks very much. Goodbye and thank you very much. For I'm the boss of a small company in Baghdad. I am the director of a small company in Baghdad. My mom told the kids to shut up. It will be. My mother told the children to be quiet. 6. They were watching a soccer match on TV. They were watching a football match on television. 7. We are having a great time. We are having a very good time. 8. It got so hot that we couldn't go out. It became so hot that we could not go out. 9. That guy won't be in the team. That boy will not be in the team. 10. The team's been getting better all this year. The team has been improving all this year. Your homework is match the formal words with the informal words. That's the end of our lesson. Thank you for your listening. Goodbye.